بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسوله الكريم أما بعد. There is a famous companion of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam whose name was Miqdad RA. He said, I and two of my friends, we were very poor. We went to different homes of different companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam asking for help, but everyone declined because everyone was hand to mouth. Finally, he said, we went to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam helped us. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself lived in poverty as well, but the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave them a place to sleep. There was a room that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had. He said, you can live here, you can sleep here. And he had 3 goats. The goats used to give milk. So the Prophet ﷺ said, why don't you milk these goats every day and drink yourself as well and save some for me too, because I get the milk from these same goats as well. So Miqdad RA and his two friends, they would milk the goats every day and they would drink the milk and save a glass or bowl for the Prophet ﷺ. He would come at night time and he would find his bowl of milk, he would drink that milk, and then he would go home and go to sleep. So one day, Miqdad RA milked the goats and he got the milk for himself, for his friends, and for the Prophet ﷺ as well. And at night time, when they were drinking their milk, they waited for the Prophet ﷺ's arrival. But the Prophet ﷺ was somewhere visiting some Ansar in Medina, and he got late. So Miqdad RA, he was still hungry. So he said, there's the bowl of the Prophet ﷺ's milk. Maybe I should just drink it. He said, Shaitan came to me and he said, it's okay, you should have that milk of the Prophet ﷺ, because the Prophet ﷺ is visiting someone's home, they're going to give him some gifts, they're going to give him food, he'll be full. When he comes, don't worry about him, just drink the milk of the Prophet ﷺ as well. So he said, I ended up drinking the milk of the Prophet ﷺ as well. My 2 friends did not, of course. So when we went to sleep, my friends went to sleep in peace. They had no problem, but I couldn't sleep. Now I started thinking, what if the Prophet ﷺ comes home hungry and he's looking for his milk and he does not find any milk over there? Then I'll feel terrible. And I could not sleep. He's rolling over, he's trying to sleep. He had one shawl that was not even long enough to cover his entire body. He said, if I covered my face, my feet would become bare. If I covered my feet, my face would become bare. So even that shawl was not big enough. So Shaitan came to me and he said, you're a dead man. You drank the Prophet ﷺ's milk, how dare you? Now the Prophet ﷺ will come, he will look for his milk, he won't find it because you finished it, and he is going to invoke curse on you, that you're dead. You're gone in this world and you're gone in the hereafter. So now he said, I became even more worried because Shaitan told me the Prophet ﷺ is going to invoke curse on me. The Prophet ﷺ entered at night time, whatever time he came, he entered. And this was the habit of the Prophet ﷺ. When he would enter a room or a place where someone would be sleeping, he would say salam in a way, he would still say assalamu alaikum, but he would say it in such a moderate voice that if someone was sleeping, wouldn't wake up, and if someone was awake, they would hear it and they could respond. So he said, my friends were sleeping, they didn't know what was going on. I couldn't sleep, but I was too embarrassed, I covered my face. I did not want the Prophet ﷺ to know that I'm awake. But I was watching. The Prophet ﷺ entered. He said, Assalamu alaikum. I did not respond because I was pretending that I was sleeping. he went to where his bowl was usually placed. He took his bowl and it was empty. So the Prophet ﷺ put it back. And he said, then the Prophet ﷺ went to the musalla and he started offering 2 rak'ah. He started offering salah. The Prophet ﷺ was hungry that night. He didn't eat anything in any place where he was visiting. So he was hungry. And the Prophet ﷺ decided to pray 2 rak'ah and ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So he was praying 2 rak'ah and Miqdad RA said, I was like, he's going to pray against me now. He's going to say, whoever drank my milk, may Allah destroy him. So he said, I was worried. The Prophet ﷺ did 2 rak'ah, and after the 2 rak'ah, the Prophet ﷺ raised his hands and he looked up towards the sky and he said, Allahumma at'im man at'amani wasqi man saqani. O Allah, feed the one who feeds me and give water to the one, give beverage to the one who gives beverage to me. So he said, I completely lost it. I was thinking the Prophet ﷺ is going to say, oh Allah, destroy the one who drank my milk. But here, the Prophet ﷺ is making dua for the one who will feed him or the one who will bring him beverage. The ulama have said that this dua teaches us that you should not only make dua when you have eaten the food, when you are in need of food, you should also make the same dua, oh Allah, feed the one who feeds me. Because normally, Allah will send someone to fulfill your need. If you need food, Allah will send someone with food to you. If you need money, Allah will send someone with money to you. If you need a ride, Allah will send someone with a ride to you. Allah will send someone. Jibreel alayhi salam will not come with food. But Allah will send someone, and that's what the Prophet ﷺ did. So he said, when I heard that dua, I woke up. I was already awake, but I got up and I took a knife and I decided to go and slaughter one of the goats that the Prophet ﷺ had said were for milking. But I was so optimistic that at least if I could slaughter the goat and I could cook the food, I would offer the food to the Prophet ﷺ and I would become deserving of that dua, oh Allah, feed the one who feeds me. But when I went to the goats, I see something strange. These goats had already been milked, but when I got there, I see they're again full of milk. I went to the other goat, and that goat was full of milk as well. I went to the third goat, that goat was full of milk as well. So now he put the knife back, he went back inside, he brought the pot, and he milked the goats again. He filled the bowls with milk, and he brought it into the room. And he offered the milk to the Prophet ﷺ and said, Ya Rasulullah, ishrab. Ya Rasulullah, drink this milk. The Prophet ﷺ drank. He offered it again. Ya Rasulullah, drink it again. The Prophet ﷺ drank again. He offered it again until the Prophet ﷺ was full. The Prophet ﷺ was thinking that maybe the ghost did not even give milk. So he said, did your friends go to sleep without drinking milk? Did you go to sleep without drinking milk? And now he's not even telling the Prophet ﷺ what happened. So the Prophet ﷺ said, wake them up and give them milk as well. Allah gave us milk now. So this is the power of dua. Dua can change anything. The Prophet ﷺ made this dua and he said, oh Allah, feed the one who feeds me and give the beverage to the one who gives me beverage. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala restored milk in those goats that had already given milk for that day. Because Allah is able to do anything. Do not lose your hope in dua. Always turn to dua. When you feel overwhelmed, make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Turn to salah. That was the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam's habit. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillah.